Hey there, something a little different today. A colleague contacted me about some help finding speakers for a professional photography conference. And let's put ChatGPT to the test and see if it's able to help out. Now, he reached out to me because he's looking for somebody to speak to a conference next spring, specifically looking for someone who's an expert in social media and online marketing. And I'm going to give him a couple names of folks that I know that I think would be great for that. But I also thought it'd be interesting to see what ChatGPT could tell us. And so let's dive into that. So I've fired up ChatGPT here. I'm using the O1 preview model because in theory, that's a little bit better at thinking and reasoning. And so I prepared a prompt already that I'm going to paste in that will help us get started. So I'm saying I'm looking for a speaker to deliver an in-person workshop to a professional photographers organization. I give it the desired topic. We're looking for somebody who's tied to the photography industry, either a photographer themselves or someone with experience working with photographers. I'm looking for somebody who's presented on these topics in the last 3 years because this is an area that changes frequently. And so I ask for a list of 10 speakers along with a summary of their relevant experience and a link to their website or contact information. And so ChatGPT is thinking about that right now. And it's going to come back with a list of folks. And so it initially gives me a list of names and, a quick summary of them, links to their website. And one of the things after I did this initial list that I realized was, it would be good to know where these folks are based because we're looking to bring somebody in person to a conference. We're going to be flying them out there. Depending on where they're at, that could impact, the logistics of getting them there and how much money it's going to cost for those flights. And so I asked ChatGPT to let me know the location where each of these folks are based. And so it's going to go out, it's going to add a line to each of these, letting me know where they are based. So, now I've got not just the speakers, a little bit of summary about them, and where is their hometown? Well, I realized just from experience and from chatting with my friend, the conference organizer, we're looking for people that are probably not on the East Coast because it's just going to be a hassle, both in time and money, to get people all the way across the country. And so I tell ChatGPT, hey, our travel budget's limited. Can you provide me a list of 10 options, but exclude anybody who's based on the East Coast of the United States? And so we're good with people on the West Coast or the Midwest, but we're not wanting those folks that are in New York and Florida and some of those names that were originally on the initial list. And so I put that query in and let's see how ChatGPT does with that. And so now we're going to see ChatGPT come back with a list of 10 options, this time excluding East Coast folks. And so this is going to give me another list to work from here. Some of the folks are the same as on that initial list. But there's some new names as it's gotten rid of some folks that were in New York, Florida, other East Coast places. So work from. Now, some of these folks are people that I know. Some of these names were new to me. So because it gave me their websites, I can go check these out, find out if they might be a good speaker. After I did that initial query, I had one more thought, which is that this person I'm helping out, the organization, it's an affiliate organization of the Professional Photographers of America. And so having a speaker that was familiar with PPA might be helpful. And so I gave it another prompt and said, hey, can you let me know which of these folks may or may not be members of PPA? And it did so. It tried to. Now, it ran into a little bit of a limitation here in that that's not something that's necessarily always obvious on somebody's website. Now, ChatGPT did warn me that somebody's PPA membership status can change, and so I probably should check with the PPA membership directory for that. It also let me know about the information cutoff, right? ChatGPT is not doing this search as a real-time search on the web. It's only through its information cutoff, which interestingly enough, I believe it identified here, if I go back. Yeah, so it's interesting that it called out an information cutoff, a knowledge cutoff of September of 2021, even though the model, if you ask it directly, when is its information cutoff, its knowledge cutoff, it says, October 2023. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder why it referenced an earlier knowledge cutoff in this response. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. It gave me a list of names. Like I said, some were known folks to me, some were new names. I did go check people's information out. I would say overall, this is a great example of a couple things. One is it's an example of using artificial intelligence for photography related purposes that's not just image generation, right? We're not making image composites here. We're using AI to just supplement our business and our other work. The other thing that it showed me is that, well, a tool like ChatGPT can assist with something like this. It did give me a few new names to check out. It also is not going to replace the human skill, the human experience of, in this case, knowing who is a great public speaker, of knowing who's knowledgeable about their material, knowing maybe who's on that list that are people that we wouldn't want to speak for particular reasons, because there was at least one of the speakers that it came back and recommended, where based on past experience, that's not somebody I would invite to come speak to our conference. Doesn't matter who it is, but again, this is a case where we can use artificial intelligence to augment our human knowledge. So I thought that was interesting. Wanted to share it with you all. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I'd be curious to hear if you think this made sense or if you think this was a waste of time. Either way, I was able to give my colleague a list of, 4 or 5 names, some out of my brain, some from the ChatGPT resources that I curated down. And I'm looking forward to seeing who he ends up going with for the conference next spring.